somebody had already opened the class, so I went back and opened it. So we're going to do our yoga practice today with a little focus on our feet and maybe a little bit with our hands. Of course, we'll do some balance, we'll do some stretching, do some strengthening. We'll do all the things that we try and include in our yoga practice. And today, if you see my attention is around the room, that's because I have, hi Susan, I have a guest with me today, which I'm really happy to have. And if you ever come to the desert, you should come. We could do yoga together as well. So you get to be you. If there's anything going on with your neck or your shoulders or your back, you just go ahead and honor those. Otherwise, I have my earbuds in because I'm not sure if they're going to mow and blow or whatever. So let's come to Samastiti by sitting either on a pillow or on your bum or in a chair. I'm sitting on my funny little pillow here, and we come to Samastiti. So that term, if you've forgotten, as I scoot the camera a little closer so we can be a little closer, means to come to the moment, come to be present. I'm really working on being present. It occurs to me that as we put more time on our odometers, as we age, that looking forward can be a little scary for some people, or not ready to approach whatever is just out that next door. So maybe we end up hanging out in the past where we have some great and fun memories that we would like to use. So rather than being the person hanging out in the past and concerned about the future, I'm just trying to live in the moment. But clearly you can still have those memories. Music triggers those memories for me. So we're going to be present and address ourselves in both the physical way and the mental way, because that's what yoga is all about, the yoking of mind and body. So as you said, address Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor energy, the action of Uddiyana, that zippering. And for some people, that drawing in of the navel makes your back feel more supported, because that's how that works. Use the hands on the knees if you're sitting cross-legged to support the back, or float them into a mudra gesture, any finger to any thumb. Soften through the neck and the shoulders. If you move your head around, it's kind of hard to be locked up in your shoulders. So if you move the head around and then visualize the spine lifting up through the crown of the head, your eyes can be open, lowered, or closed. And this is where you get to breathe. So I try and remember that I have this earbud in, and that my normal yoga breathing might be a bit much for you to be hearing. But if you know Ujjayi breath, the breath that moves through the throat and adds that auditory component, I would say use that. I find it very comforting. If your nasal passages are not available, then I guess you breathe through your mouth. So the natural breath that we use with our yoga poses seem to enhance, but it isn't always the right way to breathe. There's a way that may help you more. But you may notice that as you take a deep inhale, that the chest and ribs expand. There becomes like a slight curve to your back, that opening sensation. And then as you take a strong exhale, the abdominal wall tightens and you may feel yourself rounding or contracting. And so our poses like cat and cow follow that breath. And that our abdominal work also follows that when you're exhaling and the body is shortening, that's when you're most working your abdominal wall. So continue with your breath, as I will remind you about both breath and bandhas. And now flutter your eyes open. Stretch the arms out to the side of the body. So you're just filling up the space that is around you. So if you're close to a wall like I am, or furniture or things, just always keep that awareness. And depending on your shoulders and your neck, you're going to let the arms rise up and come together. And then hands into the heart, and we bring ourselves into that attitude of gratitude. So let's start by warming up the hands. I'm not sure the temperature where you are, but my hands always could use a little warm up. Hands and feet, they're always a little on the chilly side. And since we're going to be working with them, we want them to be responsive and warm. So let's take those hands onto our knees, however you're sitting. Find those hands just kind of rubbing around, transferring that energy that you felt in your hands now around your knees. I find this especially useful in the winter months when you're just sitting. Nobody thinks you're weird if you're sitting there just rubbing your knees, bringing a little warmth to them, because our joints get a little cranky when they're cold. Okay, and then if you need to adjust your seating, I'm going to go ahead and swap my legs just so I'm not always in one side. My body said, what? We're on the other side now. So I'm going to just start with my head and just bring a little warmth to my upper body, simply turning the head from one side to the other. There's no particular speed, but you might want to take in your surroundings so that as you're looking off, really see what you're looking at. That sounds like a silly collection of words, and yet often we don't see what we're looking at, right? So breath and bandhas support us. Now I'm going to add not a head circle, but my chin will drop toward my chest when I go from one side to the other side. So I lower my chin toward my chest, and then I'm looking at the other way. I would say maybe when you bow the chin, you tighten the belly, and then look off to the side. That's your breath in. And sometimes there's popping and cracking, and as long as it's not painful, it's probably just fine. And then end with your chin at your chest, not forcing it, just feeling the natural weight of your head. And you feel those upper traps where a lot of us hold tension, kind of get a little pull. Now start at the base of your torso with Mula Bandha. Now you have a visual of your belly as the belly draws in, and then straighten the spine. You feel the spine articulate all the way up, and I'm going to let my arms float. And if you can't reach them up overhead for whatever reason, hang out in cactus. If you can extend the arms, I want you to notice the intensity of this work that's going on. The back is working. You can look outward. You can look a little more upward. Really breathe. It's very simple, really stretching through the fingers, lifting the ribs off the hips. Nothing should hurt if you need to modify or pull the arms down. I get it. Now, once again, my palms will come together. This time when the hands come down, I'm either going to lace the fingers or stack the hands, whatever works for you. And then point your palms away, not like cracking fingers, but just a very gentle pressing of the palms forward, dropping the shoulders down, and once again, nod the chin. So this time, now you're feeling the energy from between those shoulder blades, drawing down your arms all the way to the fingers. Bring the hands to the back of the head as you lift yourself up. And now you have the hands cradling the head. And then lift the face, and if looking up kind of creates a vertigo thing, then don't look up, just look out, but let the head rest in the hands. So your focus can be wherever it feels comfortable for you. Use the hands to put the head back where it should be. Release the arms, lean a little forward, and once again, grasp the hands, lace or grab them. And as you straighten those elbows while you're leaning forward, see if you can bring yourself up without the hands dropping to the floor. So a bit more of a challenge to pull those hands off. Expand through the anterior of your shoulders such that it's allowed to do. So we know this is really good for our posture because we know where we usually hang out. And as you release, you should feel a little more fluffy. So this is the one where we sit, put our feet in front. I'm going to pull my pillow out because that's a skinny little pillow and I probably will roll right off of it. So as I'm sitting with my feet together, knees bent, this is where I drop my knees. And this creates a little bit of twisting. So take as much time as you need. You can leave the inner edges of the feet together if that's a better option. Bandha Konasana, so bottom of the feet together. If you've pulled that pillow out, you might want it back again because it does help you prevent from rolling back. So you see me rock around, I'm trying to feel my bones as best I can, or you can reach in and do the buns away thing. And then you're gonna grab those ankles and lift the spine. So this is just a little baby cat and cow. So lifting the chest to extend the spine and then slightly rounding, nothing big, just a little bit. And you're gonna notice that if your knees are up here, that's okay. You might wanna change your hands to this as I show you from the side. And do this with your breath. So next time you come up to that extra tall position, bring the heart forward, not the head, lead with the heart. And you may go a little or you may go a little more, it doesn't matter. If you need to move your feet out or in to accommodate for knees, you do that as well. Now look toward the feet and then feel the weight of your head pull you further forward. Relative to you, you may be able to go further forward, just the avoidance of rolling back toward the tailbone to protect your low back. And this is a sweet time to breathe deeply into your backside. And then roll the spine all the way back up. And as you come up, you're going to roll onto your right hip. As you roll to the right hip, the top leg will come around and you're going to be sitting thus. So I have my front leg in front and then off of my foot is my knee. So I'm sitting and this hip is up of the leg that's behind me. So I'm going to try and push that hip down. You may feel a little pressure at your knee and your quads. So this hip that I'm pointing to is pressing down, action of Uddiyana, and then pushing back up. So I'm kind of working in my sacrum, my low back area. If you need to adjust your leg at any position, see, I just got a little zinger there. Nothing forced. So next time I'm going to leave the hip up. I have my right hand, you can use knuckles if that's better. Leave this back hip up and then use the other hand on the knee and you're going to look behind you, over that shoulder behind you, just look a little behind you. Ooh. This might feel good to the low back. Again, not forcing anything. As you come back center, drawing in through the belly, I'm going to pick up the back leg and situate myself on the other hip. So again, these legs are not together. I have one leg in front and the other leg is down. It makes this hip behind kind of float off the floor. So then the impetus becomes pulling that hip back and it puts the hip bone down. I'm not touching the mat, by the way. If I put my hand under here, I'm close. I touch the hand, but I don't actually sit on the floor. And if you can, good for you. So hip going forward, hip going down. It's a subtle motion. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay. So the hip goes back, the action of Uddiyana, and then the hip thrusts forward. Now on the other side, I had a little zinger. It was okay. It's just like something went zing and moved. Probably needed to move, I'm guessing. So let's leave that hip up this time. Lean on the hand and then use the other hand to help rotate you back over that shoulder. Good time to breathe. You may find that going one way is a little more satisfactory, or maybe both sides are good, or maybe it's all just kind of meh. Is it a meh? And slowly come back center. I'm going to go to the hands and knees and make my way to a standing position. So, I always ask that you try to do this without your hands, but if you need your hands, you can. Some people might just get to their knees together and come up this way. I don't know. There is no right way. And eventually you work with the intention of not using your hands. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of balance work. And if you're on a very fluffy mat or lots of carpet and stuff, you can always step off on the floor. So two things will happen. We'll do this one as we prepare our feet, which later will be a little more balancing. Remember to go over the pinky toe, and the feet are not exactly together. A little open will be good. So you stand in your traditional Tadasana, rooted into the ground, lifting up to the sky, not letting your hips thrust forward or push too far back. And then I'm also going to work with my hands at the same time. So as I bend the elbows, just so my hands are up, I'm going to flex the wrist as I pull up and then point it down. This could be a cool dance. What do you think? It could be a new dance that we do. So I'm flexing my wrist and then pointing it down and doing the same thing with the feet. Try not to hold tension in the neck and shoulders. That's not part of the dance. Now let's not wait for one hand and foot to complete its cycle before we go to the other. So what that means is I will simultaneously switch and switch and switch, bandhas, bandhas, and switch. Sometimes there's popping and cracking in your feet and your phalanges. And then pick a foot to stand on, doesn't matter which one. And you can leave the foot on the floor as you try and circle the ankle around, but maybe you want to practice standing on one foot. And then I'm also going to do my wrist. So it's a lot of this. And you could go both directions. And breathe. Let's switch sides. May have one side that seems to perform a little better. That's always the case. But you could try. Try and keep your head on straight. Doesn't that sound silly? But often if we're looking down, the weight of our head will pull us out of balance. Okay, separate your feet. If you're facing the short end of the mat, that means the feet are probably going to be at the edge of the mat because I'm on the long side. Mine are going to stay on the mat. So I'm going to do a bent knee, tick-tock of my hips. So again, it stretches the spine in that diagonal. Now I want you to straighten the legs and notice how it feels a little different. It goes to a different place. Can you tell where it goes? So it should be more inner thigh. My legs are now straight at the knee, and so my pelvis pulls at the inner thigh. Just things you might want to notice. To some standing cats and cows. So again, the knees bend, the hands slide down, you rest upon the thighs, drawing up from the belly and bowing the head. There's your cat pose. Doesn't that feel nice? And as you inhale, lift the chest, not so much the head, and stick up the tailbone. Moving on the exhale into that cat. And when you're ready to breathe in, into the cow pose. So I just show you, you don't always have to be sitting down to do your cats and cows. Sometimes your back just needs a little massage and you can get it this way. Okay, eventually move yourself all the way up, and if your blood pressure is sensitive, watch when you stand up that you're not too dizzy. All right, so this is the one I want us to work on. I am in a stand so you can see me. My feet are still apart. I have 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. I don't know, that's like 2 feet. Let me see. There's 1 foot, Yeah, that's about 2 of my feet distance. And it's going to put you in a wobbly position. So that's part of it. So remember we were lifting the heels? That's what we're doing here. Now you can rest your hands on your sides. You can hold them out wherever you feel that's going to give you the most stability. You could also put your hand on a wall or a chair back if you really were struggling with the balance element, but who knows? So here's what will happen. The front heel will lift, come down. The back heel will lift, but the back heel is going to have to bend the knee. So front leg, bend the knee, back leg, bend the knee. So far, so good? Now, I know people can have issues in their feet, so if it's modified and your heels are not lifting very far, so be it. How about we do the one where we simultaneously switch from foot to foot? So I go from here and then right over to there, and then over to here, and over to there, over every toe, not just pinky toe side, and breathe. And if something should happen and you step out of it, it's okay. And let's pause with both feet down. I want you to look at the feet and make sure the back foot hasn't turned out. And you need to put your hands on your hips. This is just to wake up the hamstrings. So it's really not the pyramid pose, but it looks like the pyramid pose. So the hips are forward, the chest is forward, the heart goes forward, the legs are straight. Keep some weight on that back foot. Don't let it veer out. Bring both hands onto your front thigh and just express the heart forward. The back of your front leg should be speaking to you. At some point, you'll say, yeah, that's as far as I'm going. And that's where you should pause. Still leading with the heart. It's a hinge. That back hip is going to try and open to make it easier, but it's not how far you go. I just want you to feel the hamstrings of the front leg. Keep breathing. To come up, bend the front knee. Take your focus across the floor and then slowly come up. That will help with your blood pressure. And then you can either switch the legs, because I'm here, I'm in a turn, but you can just reposition your other feet. But I'm doing this. So make sure the back foot isn't turned out. I noticed mine was, and this is wobbly. A good thing I'm not on a tightrope. That would be even more challenging. And so I do the heel up and the back heel up and the front heel up. How are your toes this morning? Oh boy, the joints of our bodies. Now I'm going to go into the simultaneous, switching from one to the other, one to the other. Do you find that one side is a little more willing or able, or is that just me? Okay, let's hold both legs straight. Reassess the form of your feet. Find this breath, hips and chest forward. As you hinge, the intention is to just be neutral through your spine as you go forward, mindfully feeling the back of the front leg. At some point, the back of that front leg is going to say, good enough. If you can go further, I will not push on my knee. If I need to go further, I could put one hand to my shin. Just enough you feel that hamstring ease out. This helps us move through some of our other poses and not provide a surprise that will strain ourselves, and then we wish we hadn't done it. So as we come out, we're going to bend the knee, travel your eyes across the floor, giving yourself lots of time. Helps with the blood pressure not to just come up quickly, but to transition more gently. And let's step to the front of the mat. Tadasana. Coming down into planks. Anytime you don't want to do a chaturanga, if you don't want to do the push-up, You can just stay in your plank and then we go up into our down dog. And if you want to do a chaturanga with me and go down and go up and go down and push back up, building a little more strength, you can, but you can always opt out. My personal way is I always try the hard stuff first, and then when I poop out, I then go to my alternatives. So, but that's how I roll. All right, so I'm going to move my pillow up here. So let's get that goodness of mountain pose. So where I am standing, there actually is a set of mountains. And so I see them growing from the earth, reaching toward the sky. They have quite a bit of green on them at this time of year, surprisingly. And so you're active through your legs, lifting through the crown of your head, drawn through the core of your mountain. Let the arms lift, breathing in. And folding over until the hands touch the floor next to the feet. And then dropping the hips, lifting the chest. We're going to alternate stepping back with one foot. So one foot will step back into a lunge where the front knee is not overshooting my foot. Then I'll lift the hips and step back up. Drop the hips, lift up, and then other foot goes back. It's a good thing I work up my feet because this makes it easier. So dropping into that low lunge and then stepping back and stepping up. That's a skill unto itself. Try not to hold the breath. Stepping back from one foot and then the other foot. And next time, leave one foot back so then you can also take the other foot back, coming to your palms, knuckles for those who prefer. And now I'm in my plank with my shoulders above my hands, my chin slightly lifted. If I prefer, I could put the knees down. It doesn't change the plank. So whether your knees are down or up, that's up to you. I always envision a little candle flickering under my belly button to remind me not to let the hips sag down. 3 breaths. Soften to the knees and take a child's pose. And if you were not going to do the chaturanga, you might come into child's pose as we're doing now. Always available during our practice. Move back onto the hands, turn the toes under. Our downward dog, the hips go up, look towards your thighs. It may be more prudent for you to keep the knees bent on the first down dog, just so your back doesn't have to struggle. Maybe because we opened our hamstrings, you can straighten the legs. Check with your hands. Pads of the fingers pressing down, elbows in. Come back to your child's pose. So you will notice in the downward dog and sometimes even child's pose that your head starts accumulating fluids, but I'll remind you later maybe that it's not going to stay like that. It just seems like all the fluids just come and hang in your head. But then after you move a lot, it's just more fluid. Back to all fours. Downward dog. Raise the heels, bend the knees, look forward, and then just walk your feet up to wherever they can get to between the hands. Put the hands on or around your calves. Lay the body down on the thigh. Do the best you can to then try and straighten the legs without lifting the chest up so the legs are straight. Everyone can straighten the legs without having the body on the thigh. This one is trying to keep the bodies down on the legs and then straighten into forward fold. Bend the knees, release, travel your eyes forward, paying attention to your blood pressure until those arms join all the way up overhead. And hands into the heart. So let's add a chaturanga or 2. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Drop hips, inhale, lift. Step back either foot to a full plank position. From knees or toes, elbows in, lower yourself down ever so quietly and relax the toes. A baby cobra means no pushing on hands, just lift the chest. Cobra, you apply a little pressure. Up dog, you lift the hips and on the tops of the feet. Breathing out, you go back down. Toes go under. Keep the knees down. Lift the hips up ever so slightly. You could just put your hands right under your hip bones. Elevate the chest. Come back to your plank. Downward dog. I adjust my feet. Shall we walk this dog? Let's take the dog for a walk. Pressing one heel down. Raising both heels up. Breathe in. Exhale, bend the knees, look back, look forward. On your own terms, walk, step, or jump to the front. Put the hands around the calves, keep the body on the thighs, try and bow over and get a little closer together. Release the arms, bend the knees, mindfully come back up. Give yourself all the time you need, there's no rush. And eventually the hands into the heart. Begin to feel the changes in your body. Lift on the inhale, fold on the exhale. Drop the hips, lift on the inhale, your face, step back into your plank. So you can go to child's pose or down through chaturanga. Inhale up, wherever up seems appropriate. Exhale, coming down. So as you turn the toes under, you can lift the hips up from the knees or from the toes, and then do your best to press up into your downward dog, adjusting those feet. It won't matter, but stand on one foot and lift the other leg up. Careful not to kick anything. And put it down. Stand on that foot, lift up the other foot, three-legged dog. And put it down. Raise both heels, breathe in, bend the knees, look forward. Walk, step, or jump to where your hands are. As you bend the knees to connect your body and thighs, bind behind and fold. Release and rise on your own terms. All the way up. And hold the hands at your heart. So this should clean out your sinuses. This is pretty good. All right, we're going to do a little strengthening in a balance pose called the crescent pose. Bending the knees and tipping or hinging forward. It's like I'm peering over into the Grand Canyon or something. Stand on your right foot. Pick up the left foot. So find where the stability is, because then you're going to take your left foot while leaning forward and step it back hip distance, but then wiggle it or slide it back a little bit more. Put the hands on the thighs. So you can either come to this position or you may be inclined to want to touch the ground, but it doesn't change the bending of the knee in front. And then from here, you lift the spine up and maybe bring the arms to cactus or overhead. Now the balance comes out of being on the ball of the back foot rather than having your heel down in warrior. So either leaning forward, either touching your thigh, and then lifting back up, staying in that crescent pose, and or going down and touching softly and coming back up. So just play with going down and coming up on your own terms. That could be the floor. That could be your thigh. And if you needed a wall or a chair to kind of help you in that transition, wouldn't be opposed to that. Just try and get the parameters. You should begin to feel the front thigh speaking loudly. And I'll do one more. Now, when I'm down with my hands on my thigh or the floor, drop your back heel. So now I've changed my feet to warrior. As I come back up, leave the right leg, right arm Open the left arm. Now I've moved to warrior two, correct? My body and my hips have turned. I'm looking at the front hand. If your thigh can't stand it no more, you're going to straighten the leg and do your exalted warrior, or keep it bent and do your exalted warrior. So the arm in front lifts. You look at the hand in front of you. The back heel is on the floor. The front knee is bent, and the knee is tracking, not letting it fall in. So you could be here, here, here. You could straighten the leg if your thigh is like burning. Breathe. Back to warrior two. Now I'm going to pivot on the back foot. Lean forward to help me. Step the back foot up. All the way up. And Tadasana. Let me lubricate my throat a moment, and then we'll do the other side. I find in the morning that, all my liquids need to start moving. So if you feel your thigh was burning, that's what it was supposed to be. Let me be on this side. So bending the knees and hinging forward. Stand on your left foot, raise the right heel. Get the stability that this knee sometimes does this. This just happens to be a thing that we do. So pull the knee open and keep it over your ankle. Now as you extend the right leg back, don't settle for here. Go back more. A wider base, a more firm stance. Now again, the hands could just be right here, or you could touch the earth. What doesn't change is the knee. Doesn't straighten and bend. It stays the same. So if you can only go to the thigh and then come up, maybe cactus arms, maybe overhead, or touching the earth and coming up, you got to breathe. Your back heel is lifted. It's the wobbly pose. Next time the hands come down either on the thigh or the floor, drop the back heel. Set your warrior. Move up. Front leg, front arm. Back leg, back arm. Body turns to the long end of the mat. Commit to Virabhadrasana 2. Shoulders are down. Gaze is to the front hand. You turn the palm up on the front hand. Keeping the front knee bent is one option. Straighten the front leg if you need to, a second option. The exalted warrior has many variations. So lifting of the heart, you don't have to look up. Hope you're breathing. Back to warrior two. As you flip the back heel up, lean forward, hands come to heart. Engage your core as you step the back foot to the front foot. Burst from the earth, lift to the sky, put your hands behind, grab them or lace them, and separate your feet to the edges of the mat. Heel of your foot out, and you may feel a little turned in. Straighten the elbows, hinge forward, and bow over. And breathe. Drop the head. Relax the head. As I bend the knees, my heels turn in, my hands let go, and forearms come to my thighs. As I drop the hips and transition my focus more forward, modified squat or full garland pose. Hands at palm can help assist by pushing your knees open. This should be done with the heels down. That may not be in your vocabulary, so how about you go here? From this position, move your hands to the mat and gently move onto your hands and knees. So we do the needle and thread. So when was the last time you picked up a needle and thread? So you hold it in the first finger and thumb, and we do sewing. The hand that's on the mat is your marker hand. The hand that's moving rubs against the inside of that arm, and what it does is track you. And I'll show you what I mean. If I didn't track and my hand came here, I could be in this position, not what I'm looking for. If I rub this moving hand against the arm, it makes my shoulder drop higher so that I'm more in alignment. We will do three stitches. And on our last stitch, we will hold. And then once you're here, you have an option to either keep the hand on the floor, reach it up, and then some people reach around and grab the top of the thigh. It doesn't matter which one you do. It isn't better than another. It's just a variation in which to do. So let's do whichever arm is easiest for you first, and then I'll tell you to switch sides. So track yourself. I come to all fours. If your neck is a little not willing and you have a pillow nearby, you can pull that pillow in to fill the gap if need be. So pick up one hand, first finger and thumb grabs that needle and thread. Breathing in, open a stitch to the side, and exhale, come down. Then we're going to go back up again. Inhale, take another stitch. Exhale, draw down. And one more, inhale, take one more stitch. And as you exhale, running that arm against the back of the inside wrist, and then drop that shoulder and head. And maybe better to keep that other hand down. Don't drop your needle and thread. Maybe you can take the hand on the floor and lift it, or maybe it grabs behind. Again, there is no right way. There's just the one that might feel most intuitive to you. I would say if your neck is a little stiff, it might be a good idea to keep that hand down, but you can push with that hand. Now think about Mula Bandha and the pelvic floor. It has no gravitational pull on it, so you could work on that. If your hand is up, you're going to put it right down in front of your needle and thread hand. Push on that hand and take one more stitch all the way up. And as you exhale, the hand comes down. We are on the other side. 3 times before we stop. Pinch your first finger and thumb. Inhale, the needle and thread goes up. Exhale, the stitch rubs against that arm and drop down. Inhale, going up. Exhale, lowering down. Once more, drawing all the way up. This time the hand will stay down. Be sure it's close to the hand you're leaning on. If you need a little filler space, you can put the pillow under there. So the hand on the mat can gently press, rise up, go behind. Keep your first finger and thumb holding that needle. Hard to find it again. If your high hand is up, you're going to find the floor. Let's draw one more stitch as you push onto the hand and reach up. And now you can put your needle and thread away. Okay, let's come onto our backs. Yay! We like being on the backs, if only for a moment. If you need a little elevation of the head, you can use your pillow. So let's ascertain our natural placement. If your chin juts up and you find that you're looking slightly backwards, you want to see if you can nod the chin and look out over your knees so you have a natural alignment of your neck. Now, that doesn't work for everybody, so that's why putting a pillow or a towel under your head might be the prudent thing to do. So today, I find this one to be quite challenging, and I don't think we've done it for a while. It's very slow. It involves both the rectus abdominis, which lifts the body and shortens the abdominal wall. It also activates the oblique muscles, the ones that are down by the hip and the ribs on the opposite side. So stretch your feet out. Find the edges of the mat so your feet are apart, about the width of the mat. And then the arms lift up over your chest. And they're going to veer over your head also in a V shape. It's okay if the elbows are bent. If you saw yourself from above, if you were floating above yourself and looking down, you would be the shape of an X. Let's put your left hand down on the floor by your side. We're going to be lifting the left leg and the right arm. You're going to lift yourself up, and you can use that left elbow to come all the way up and try and touch the hand and foot together. This is a breath of in to lift, exhale to touch, inhale to separate, exhale to lay down. Let's give it a try. As you inhale, lift your head, your neck, your shoulder, and your foot. Now push down on that elbow and reach up toward the foot. Inhale, apart you go, and exhale, you come back down. So you actually can dig that elbow that's on the floor in to help you. Lift your head, neck, shoulders, and leg. Exhale, come up on your elbow and reach. Come all the way up and go back down and keep practicing. So inhale, lift. Exhale, come all the way up. Same side over and over again. So you keep repeating. All the way up. Oh, yes, all the way up. And the arm goes down and the leg comes down. Feet are apart. Inhale, come up. Exhale, keep coming up. There you go. So you do get to use the elbow. It's a surprise. I say 2 more. Maybe at some point you don't need the elbow so much, but that's all right. Use your breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lift higher. Inhale, release. As you come down, the legs stay the same apart. One arm goes up, the other arm comes down. So we should be on right leg, left arm. Let's give this one a try. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rise. Inhale, open. Exhale, lower. We're going to go for 6. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rise. Inhale, open. Exhale, lower. Not to rush. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rise. Open. Halfway there. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rise. Inhale, open. 2 more times. Yes, we can. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rise. Inhale, open. And our last time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rise. Inhale, open. And we're good. Bring the knees into our chest. So if you haven't done that, that's just kind of a woohoo one to do. And if you've done it, now you know why we don't do it so often. All right, so we're going to do a walking bridge today. The walking bridge, the bridge just by itself is a back strengthener. The walking bridge is more about glutes and balance. So as I place my feet, my fingers kind of can tickle the back of my heels. That way I know my feet are in a good alignment. They're not together and they're not turned out. They're not turned in. They're parallel. I do reaffirm my bandhas. I squeeze my glutes, nod the chin, and elevate my hips. Now, how high the hips are does not matter. This is our classic bridge pose.
When we do this, we have the option of having more stability with the arms down as I slowly lift one leg and set it down, then the other leg. This is done like super slow. If I wanted a bit more challenge, I would hover my arm, so the upper arm not touching the mat, and then I walk. And there's a whole lot more going on, you'll find, when you don't have those arms to help you. So it's just a lifting of one leg and setting it down, and the lifting of the other leg and setting it down. Slow as she goes. Should almost feel like you're doing this in your dream. Foot comes down perhaps with a toe ball heel. And if you feel you're rocking a lot, then go ahead and use the arms a little bit so you can understand how important the core is to stabilize you, how the legs help guide you so that there's not a whole lot of wobbling around. And breathe. And we'll do a couple more. Come back to your bridge pose. Let's see if we can lift those hips just a wee bit higher. Elevate the hips up as you squeeze through those glutes. Coming down up from the upper part of the back as you spread the shoulders. Draw in through the middle part of the back, down through the lower back, and then eventually the glutes relax. Stretch out your left leg straight away. Pull the right knee into your chest. Take a few breaths in this position, really pulling that knee in and pushing the foot away. We're creating space. Hold the right knee with the left hand. Release the right arm to the side. Traditionally, we say, look at that right arm. Take a breath in, and on your exhale, carry the right leg across. I usually slide my fingers right behind my knee to keep my knee up and not let it go too far out. And if you keep the back shoulder, the right shoulder down, you may or may not touch the knee. If you wanted a little more work from the shoulder, you would let that right knee drop to the floor. That would lift, most likely, the right shoulder, and you would get more of that anterior opening. But I'll let you figure out what works best for you. You could just be with the back twist. You could be with the shoulder opening. It's a good time to breathe. Use the hand at the knee to help bring it in. Put both hands on the knee. Now I'm against a wall, so I'm likely going to have to scoot away from it a little bit. You can either put the hand behind the knee as you lift the leg and let it open to the side. So this is me scooting over, opening it to the side. I could maybe grab the heel of my foot and open the leg to the side. If you know you're the person with the two fingers that can lock into your big toe, straighten the leg and open to the side, you could do that. The left hand is going to stay on your left hip to help hold it down so that you don't roll over. You should feel the inside of that leg that's going away from you. As you bend the knee, place that ankle on your left thigh, which comes up. And then position the bent knee, the right knee, so that the right knee pushes away and the right foot comes to you. The left knee will help push that ankle to you. your hand or elbow can push the knee away. Now play a little bit by rolling a little side to side. And you may find that as you roll from side to side, there's a place where it gets a little more opening into your hip. And you can stay there. Return center and set your feet down and stretch them out in front of you. Now it's time to leave the right leg straight, pull the left knee in, take a few breaths holding that knee in while pushing the other leg out. Hold the left knee with the right hand as you release the left arm and gaze toward the left arm. Breath in. Breath out. Carry the left leg across. I'm sliding my fingers behind the back of my left knee a little. So there is an element of gravity. Again, if you know you're tight in the front of your shoulder, it's okay to let that knee drop and the arm to suspend. There are some variations, so pick one that's going to serve you best. Nice deep breaths. Use your right hand to help bring that left knee in. And then just as we did on the other side, and I have to scoot away from the wall, I can hold behind the leg. It will go up as straight as it can. And then I want it to go out to the side and maybe up. I have this wall, so I'm limited. I could grab the heel of my foot and make it go up and out. My other hand holds my hip down. I could do the 2-finger lock of my big toe and open that leg to the side and slightly upward. Your intention is to feel the adductor, your inner thigh muscle. So if that's where you feel it, good. Breathe. Gently folding in that left leg, bringing the right knee up, positioning the right knee and left ankle together. So that left foot coming to you, the left knee going away from you, using your arms and that other leg to help find those alignment points. And then perhaps rocking a little and finding where's that point where I get the most from my hip, should be the left hip. As I release, you have some options. One option is flipping over onto your belly, which I'll show you. It may not be your option, so watch. If you can lay on your belly, we're only going to do one leg at a time. This is going to look like the bow pose to you. We're not doing the bow tuck pose. Same hand grabs the same foot. I know some people can't do this. It just doesn't work for them. If you can do this and hold the heel towards your bum and then take the hip bone of the foot that you're holding and push that hip bone down, that will accomplish the quad stretch that we're looking for. If you say, that doesn't work for me, you're going to lay on your side. You can be all the way down or up on your elbow. You bend the knees. You grab the ankle because you can. You relax the leg as if you were laying on your belly. And then you pull the foot back with a heavy leg and lean forward. And it will allow you to get that same feeling, just a different variation. Some people can lay on their belly and hold their foot. And some people prefer not to for whatever reason. So if you're feeling down the whole front of the thigh, That's what we're looking for. Slowly releasing. If you're on your belly, you just straighten the one leg, bend the other knee in, reach for the foot. And maybe you can do it on one leg, not on the other. That wouldn't be unexpected. If you're not getting enough on your belly, push that hip bone down. That should give it. Otherwise, you're on your side, your knees are forward, you capture the ankle, you weight the leg, you pull it back and lean forward. Slowly releasing, we're going to bring ourselves to a seated position. Open your legs into a wide straddle. We did each independent leg. If this is a challenge, sit on your pillow. This is me moving my buns away. Legs are straight, chest is up. So with my legs, at whatever distance they are, this is not a competition, and I do understand this may not be your favorite pose, but this is where I'm rubbing, is where we're going to open. This is often overlooked. I try not to overlook it because we focus on the outer hip, maybe the thighs and hamstrings, but when this is tight, this contributes to the roundedness. So if you want to lean back on the hands and lift up your chest, that could be good enough. If you feel this, that's good. If you use your hands and then hinge yourself forward, if the hands don't help you and you don't shoot backwards, you bring them in front. Now, I think a few times, maybe last week, we did this with the wall, which is very nice for the back. It helps you maintain that neutral spine. And sometimes sitting in a straddle with this happens. So try and keep your chest forward in that hinging. How far forward? Not important. This is just about you getting a little more space from yourself. If it becomes intense and you need to retreat, of course you should. If you can learn to soften around that hardness, maybe you can stay a little longer there. Slowly walk yourself up. And now I like to be respectful of these guys who just stretch. So slip the hands behind, rock back out of it. So let's go back and do this one. Sometimes when we do it at the end of our practice, it feels different. Things feel more lubricated, more available. Sit yourself comfortably. Could be sitting on your knees, could be back in Sukhasana, could be sitting on a block or a pillow. So this time, instead of turning the head, we're just going to drop the head. So just sit yourself, even if it's back in a chair. Sit yourself up straight. Let ear fall to shoulder. And you want to feel that opening from the ear all the way down. You can almost feel the attachment.
So whichever ear is dropping to that shoulder, take that hand and 3 fingers of the hand up to the temple and add a little weight. Another option is take the free arm and rest it in your low back. The jaw is relaxed. The fingertips now come to the crown of the head and bow the head so you're looking off the side of your body. Keep your head down, release both arms, nod your chin to your chest, and put your head up so we could do the other side. Let me grab a sip of water. Unless you think I sound sexy, in which case I won't drink water. All right, other side. So just feel the weight of your head. I'm turning into a frog. Fingertips of that hand gently press on the temple. Other hand can float behind your back. Jaw is soft. Chin towards your armpit, fingertips on the back of the head. Fingertips weight the head, bow the head toward the side of your body. Release both arms as the chin rolls to the chest. And then put your head up nice and tall. So I'm going to give you a chance to position for Shavasana. I thought I'd have it cleared there for a minute. You could put your feet up the wall. You could elevate your hips with a block under your hips or a pillow. You could lay on your stomach. You could lay in traditional corpse pose. If you're chilly, you could take a blanket and lay the blanket over you. There are a variety of ways that you can make yourself comfortable. If your feet are chilly, you could put your socks back on. So this is the time we transition to do nothing. I'll try not to be the frog. So we transition. Feel the weight of our body on the earth. And in this transition, it's not unexpected for the mind to get monkey-like and jump from thought to thought. Our word today is life. A life that we each live independently and in concert with the world. It's a big thing. This life envelops not only our physical presence, but the presence beyond. So as you're laying in this nothingness that is everything of life, as we breathe, which is the life force, the pranayama, let the weight of the body and thus your responsibilities and your concerns, your fears, just melt into the earth, if only for a moment. Just let it go. It's not needed. It won't help. And give your moment of rest to your body and mind and soul. Wait in this quiet time until I ring the singing bell, and let this time be yours. And so the singing bell invites you back from that moment of calm and quiet and pause. Deepen the breath, wiggle the fingers and toes. Open your mind to these few simple words that life just is. You have to flow with it. Give yourself to the moment. Let it happen. And so with those simple words, make your way to a seated position. And as you come back to our reality, perhaps a little more refreshed, renewed, a little stronger, a little more stretched out, all those things happen with the practice of yoga. Sitting tall and stretching the arms out, lifting the arms up, joining the palms and placing them at the heart, and then that word that means the light in me honors the light in you, we say Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here, as we appreciate all of your time, and Namaste.